Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I will be talking about Season 2, Episode 36, Father and Son, starring Edmund Gwenn as Joe Saunders. And this is an average episode in my opinion. It's watchable. It's not really much of a suspense episode. It's more of a straightforward drama with a few elements of suspense in it. And I thought it was just fine. It's just okay. I don't really have anything great or terrible to say about it. This is one of those episodes that's kind of just there in my opinion. So we start in London in 1912 with a father and a son named Joe and Sam. And Sam is the son and he really wants to borrow money from his father. Turns out he has a hard time keeping a job and that he always has. His father, who apparently has lent him money in the past, says, "You're not getting any more money from me. You're either going to have to work for it or find some other way to get money." And we find out that Sam is really, really desperate for that money. And we will find out very, very soon. Also, at this point, when Sam leaves, a man named Gus comes in and he collapses at Joe's feet. And he is also important to the plot, and we'll find out more about him as the episode goes along. So the next scene, Sam goes to see this showgirl named May, and it turns out this is why he wants the money. He wants this girl May to run off with him, and she doesn't seem too sure about it, but she says, "If you get the money, come back and see me." So at this point, Sam goes to borrow the money from a guy, but he can't get as much as he wants. He thinks about doing this guy in, but we see he really doesn't have the guts to do it, which shows a lot about his character. I thought this scene was okay. So we go back to Joe and Gus is eating. He says he hasn't had a meal in a while. The reason for this is he's on the run. The police are after him. He claims he's innocent. We don't really know if he is or not, but Joe agrees to hide him. What he doesn't know is that his son Sam is watching this from a distance, and there's also a reward for Gus. So I think we see where this is headed. So at this point, Sam goes to see his father again. He lies to him, tells him he has this business opportunity with a friend. And I have to say, this isn't a very good lie. It's not very convincing at all. We know he only wants money. His father's pretty smart and doesn't buy into this trick either. So Sam basically tells his father at this point, "I'll do anything to get the money," which should be a warning to him for what's to come. So Sam goes back to May and tells her he's going to turn in this guy Gus, and she seems reluctant, but eventually she tells Sam will go along with it, which we find out isn't really true. And as Sam leaves, May goes to make a phone call, but we don't yet know who she called. So Sam goes to the police and basically tells his story, but he finds out he's going to have to ID the man who's hiding Gus, even though he doesn't want to. So his father comes in the room, and we learn there's no signs of Gus anywhere. So it turns out what happened is that May called Joe and basically tipped him off that the police were coming. So Gus got away, but now Joe is being held, basically for giving help to a fugitive. So Sam gets his reward money, but his father's really crushed. You can really tell that Joe is devastated by this. Good acting from Edmund Gwenn in this scene. So as Sam's leaving the station, he trips and falls on the steps, and Joe is still concerned about him. He asks Sam if he hurt himself or not. So Joe definitely turns out to be the better man in this situation. And that's really it. That's how the episode ends. Kind of an abrupt ending, but, it works for what the episode is. Just an average drama, in my opinion. Like I said, there's nothing really more to this episode. There's no real suspense. It's not really great or terrible. Just kind of there. And I'm going to give Father and Son a 2.5 out of 5. If you like these kind of classic dramatic stories, you might enjoy it a little more. If you don't, it's definitely not an essential episode, in my opinion. Just average. So 2.5 out of 5 for Father and Son. And as always, thank you very much for watching.